I am Dominador Buhain, the President and Chairman of the Rex Education. Today, I am going to show you myself. Ito yung mga collection ng small books, ito sa works of Shakespeare. Then this is the smallest book. So luckily, I was privileged to collect the same and put it here. Predominantly sa Frankfurt, Frankfurt. Because I visit Frankfurt every time there is a book fair. I'm at Frankfurt. It's a replica of my put. A very good artist from Angono did it for me. It's a marble replica of my put. It's reflective of my desire, propensity to travel, parang ganon. Every country I visit, I try to buy materials there, and I try to collect and then put it at a place, assign it to a cubicle here. It's a big book that was crafted by the Rex staff, and it was gifted to me. Small version of the Republic Act 8047, small version. Kanya every time I would be invited in Congress to discuss about books, I would carry this material because it contains everything about RA 8047, the Constitution of the Philippines. I am privileged to be considered to receive this Hall of Fame from Sambeda, Achievement Award. It was given by the chairman, who is none other than Manuel Pangilinan, MVP, Hall of Fame. I was the only awardee during that time. This one is the book of the Charles Darwin about human evolution. These are decoration which highlights that about reading books, Kanya makita mo, it's always book related. Again, this one is the longest book. It's the longest book. Recently, I came up with I wrote a book about the survival of books, bookstores, and other display areas. In my own little way, I try to do something about the upliftment of the book industry. I firmly believe that the reading played a pivotal role for me to become where I am now. Siguro, I think that's the only way to succeed in life, because it's only through knowledge that you will be able to find the road to success. Because without knowledge, nothing will happen. I'm close to books because we started from the buying and selling of second-hand books. Then we ventured into publishing. And then luckily, after the lapse of 73 years, we are still around. Thankfully, we have produced around 11,000 titles to date. I'm thankful to Divine Providence, the family, and they're helping one another to perpetrate the business which started way back 73 years ago, something like that. It was the legacy of my biological father. My mother luckily married a very industrious person, the owner of the adjacent bookstore. Together, they tried to import books and try to come up with publication of books. And my stepfather, admittedly, whom I consider a real father, played a pivotal role in the success of the small venture we have. While I did the selling, my father did the publishing of titles. My kind of Philippine books are those which resonate with my aspirations, particularly those books that deal with the love of country. Most of those books are books written by Jose Rizal, who is an embodiment of everything, a poet, doctor, writer, etc. And more importantly, he was a traveler. Being a traveler myself, I chose to read the following books: Rizal Prose, 1995 edition; Reminiscences and Travels of Jose Rizal, 2011 edition; Si Rizal sa Ibang Bansa by Juliana Cruz Pineda; I Trace Rizal Footsteps in Foreign Lands by Eupronio M. Alip; Jose Rizal Letter to His Family, 1861 to 2011 edition. Predominantly, I'm fond of reading books on revolution, where I realize globally, in the course of my travels abroad, on the tyranny of the colonizers. The following books about slavery for me mirror that life is unfair, especially for these people who became slaves. The embarrassment of slavery, controversies about bondage, and nationalism by the colonial Philippines by Michael Salman, slavery in the Spanish Philippines by William Henry Scott, who owns the Ice House by Clifton Taubert. Aside from Jose Rizal, whom I try to emulate, because life is too short and you should emulate a good example, I would like to make mention about my childhood idol. Peter Pan appears to be the book character that resonates with me due to his ability to fly, which is substituted by a bailing of airplane. Thus, the focal point of my interest in life is traveling. Traveling is like reading a book. If you do not travel, you are likened to be stagnated on page 1 of a book. I have been privileged to have visited 273 countries listed under the Travel Century Club. Sometime during the past, I was recognized as the most traveled person in Asia Pacific. I am inspired by the life lessons from Peter Pan, such as to be positive and to look at the bright side of life. That there is time for everything, that if you don't believe you can do it, you are bound to fail. World history book, as well as the book on indigenous peoples, and book relating to flora and fauna related to the island, so that I would have the pertinent information about the island culturally or otherwise while awaiting for possible rescue. Again, I would like to make mention about the book, The Negroes of Africa, History and Culture, which deals on slavery, which prompted me to cry. I am also reminded of the article of Ambet Ocampo of the recent Philippine Dairy Inquirer, wherein he narrated the sufferings which Andres Bonifacio underwent, together with his wife, Gregoria de Jesus, before he was killed. In this narration, Mr. Ocampo, my friend, admitted that he was on the verge of crying when he was reading the primary document about Andres Bonifacio's death. If only he were still alive, I would have wanted to have dinner with Abraham Lincoln, who has been regarded as one of the greatest presidents that the U.S. had. It would be of interest to talk with him on how he successfully waged a political struggle and civil war that preserved the Union, ended slavery, and created the possibility of civil and social freedom for Africans and Americans. The oldest book that I have is the Código Penal para las Islas Filipinas, 1889. Nung nagpunta ako sa Spain, I was privileged to have in one of the flea markets there, they were selling this material, and I got hold of this one. My recent book purchase is the whole set of 12 volumes of the Philippine Culture Center of the Philippines. It's very exhaustive, no? I truly felt I should buy these materials because it's an update of the cultural developments in the Philippines. I'm reminded with the book Jesus Saved Me, which is the only book that was left when our humble bookstore, the Rex bookstore, was razed to the ground by a big fire. It's the same book which I brought during the time when I was going around the country as the personal salesman of our company. This particular book, through appeal to the emotion, somehow convinced our erstwhile clients to give their orders, which served as the initial funds for the recommencement of the Rex bookstore. To its humble present situation now, in the light of the fact that I have been inspired and that they have served as the guideposts for our survival and progress, I would like to recommend again. Firstly, we have How to Close Sale by James Muir. We have How to Become Rich by Napoleon Hill. As I See It by Paul Getty. Fourthly, The Richest Man in Babylon by George Samuel Clayson. And fifthly, The Rockefellers, An American Dynasty by David Horowitz. In the remote possibility that they could not find it outside, I hope they could visit our humble place here, which is the Book Museum, so that they could see these materials. Actually, it was not doing good, you know. There was a time when we were importing practically everything, you know, from foreign countries. With the formation of the Philippine Educational Publisher, there is that movement really to come up with Filipino authored books. And of course, through the advocacy of RA 8047, which is through the management of MBDB, and that's the only time where there will be proliferation of Filipino authored materials. Statistically, no, I think the very disproportionate number of titles ng locally authored materials compared to the imported books, para gano'n. Hopefully, through the advocacy of the stakeholders, there will be an improvement. Ang dream ko talaga is that there should be more Filipino authored materials, and it should be distributed nationwide in the provinces because of the diverse culture, you know. I think the provinces should be given an opportunity to come up with their own, in order that their culture, their history should be highlighted. That's my point. Because we are very rich, you know? We have varied cultures, and it's high time that they be given the opportunity to express themselves through publications.